check it out. Look, we from the bottom, ain't no problems, we gon' make a way. Got no coach on the field, but we making plays. Hey, look, don't worry, we gon' be okay. Hey, look, why? Cause we gon' make them pay.
Oh, what's going down, people? I'm in this hole by myself. I don't know what happened to Coach. He was right here. Then I look up and he's gone. Why is my screen flashing? What the fuck is going on there? Oh, my bad. People can't hear me. I ain't had a mic close to me. Are y'all seeing my screen flash? Or is that just me? I think I got the coach back. There we go. I don't know what the hell happened, but yeah. Can you hear me, Coach? Can you hear me? No, I guess not. So, what's going on, fellas? It's been a minute, but we are back in full effect. All right, Coach disconnected. Who we got in the chat? Dunn Play. What's up, big guy? We do have NCAA basketball. Yes, sir. And man, you know, shit, just like dog, Coach, you know, life. Finally, we got done with football. Coach got done with football. So we should have a little bit more time, you know, be a little bit more consistent. But we back. Coach, can you hear me?
Mic check. Mic check. Can you hear me?
Yeah. I'm hoping you can.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
I can hear you, bro. Okay.
All
right. So I called my people's Saturday. I called my internet provider. They said they fixed it. Then they asked when was I going to be going live again. I told them today. And so I'm going to have to give them a call back once we get off this show. But with that being said, what's going down, gamblers around the world? I am the coach. I'm pretty sure Marley Bets already introduced himself. And how you feel, my guy? You the Super Bowl champ. Did you flash that thing already to him? Yeah. Did you flash the thing?
Nah, I didn't. I didn't flash that. Oh, wait, maybe I didn't turn it that way.
Yeah.
LBYL. What do you say on that side? Shit, I can't tell.
I can't
Super Bowl
tell either. It's too blinking. It's kind of blinking, my boy.
Championships on that side, 2022. But yeah, we did that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Did they size y'all rings before the game?
No. No. My son ring is this size as well. Like,
so they just gonna have to put it up till they be able to wear it.
Now holding the case. We already got cases for it. I took it out the case just to put on for the show. Then it's going right back to the case to the banquet. And it might just stay in there after that till I win me another one next year.
Yeah, well, to also recap last weekend, I went 2-3 on my picks, and you went 3-3, unless that total went over in that Oregon game.
Hold. What you got my record as?
3-3. What do you have?
I have Oregon won, didn't they?
That's a part of it. You won Oregon, TCU, and the over in the Tennessee game.
No, that Utah total, I don't think it did go over.
I think it was like 2017 or something like that.
Yeah, I don't think. I'll go back and double check. I was trying to share the video a while ago, but if I remember correctly, it did not go over.
So Utah lost. Oregon won. So that means Oregon's going to has a chance to go to the Pac-12 championship, or is Utah still in control?
Should be Oregon is in control, and they play Washington. Oregon State. Excuse me. Oregon State this week. I'm pretty sure Oregon is in control of their own destiny. Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, that's how we fared off of a hot streak. And on the NFL, I think I went like 1 or 2 and something. Didn't really do too well in the NFL. How'd you fare in the NFL?
I didn't either. The only thing I hit was the Pats. Giants let me down. Well, actually, I did hit the Bears team total. But we didn't give that. We didn't go over that game. So, but as far as the games we went over,
Giants lost. Vikings got destroyed. And Pats is the only game I hit. After coming off a beautiful 2 weeks of NFL.
Well, let's jump right into this college football action. We got action going down tonight, ladies and gentlemen. And the first game we're going to start off with is Ball State taking on Miami, Ohio. Ball State 5-6 on the year, 5-6 against the spread. While the Red Hawks of Miami, Ohio, they're 5-6 on the year as well, and 5-6 against the spread. This game did open up in favor of Miami, Ohio, -2.5. There hasn't been any real movement on that line, and the total opened up at 45.5. Right now, that line's sitting at a solid 45. A couple of actual factors real quick for Ball State. The unders hit 6 out of last 6. They are 1-4 against the spread in the last 5 games against Miami, Ohio, and only 1-5 straight up in the last 6 games when playing against Miami, Ohio as well. They're 1-4 against the spread in the last 5 games when they play on the road against Miami, Ohio, and they're also 4-2 straight up in the last 6 games against an opponent from the East Division. Now, actual factors for Miami, Ohio. The under has hit 9 out of the last 12 games. They are 16-2 at the crib in the last 18 games. 4-1, like I said, against the spread in the last 5 games against Miami, against Ball State. They are also 12-5 straight up in the last 17 games when played in the month of November. Injury reports right now for Ball State. Running back Carson Steele, he left last game, so he is questionable for tonight. I think that's that big old big boy back there running the ball, big old white boy. Miami, Ohio, Brett Gabbert, the quarterback, he is out indefinitely. So they've actually been playing a minute without him. Last time we seen Ball State, they went against regular Ohio, 32-18, which Ohio's been on fire lately. And Miami, Ohio took on NIU, and they won that game 29-23. So Ball State taking on Miami, Ohio. Marley, do you have a play on this game?
I don't have anything super official. Big
What up,
boss?
boss?
What up, though? I was liking the over 45. I think we can get there. Last 2 games for Miami, Ohio, they've been in the 50s against NIU and Ohio. But before that, everything was under. They're giving up 23 points a game. Ball State's giving up 27 points a game. We're at 45. It's a low total. It's just both these offenses, man, they're less than be desired here. I don't have anything official on this game, honestly, but I did make a play on the over personally for personal bets. I did make a play on the over. Mac overs be hitting minus the snow. Yeah, but I feel like we ain't been getting too many, at least not crazy like it was last year, man. Last year, them hoes was popping like every fucking week. It seemed like it slowed down this year, but I did make a play on the over 45. Both these offenses scare me, but both these defenses are giving up damn near 30 points a game. Well, Ball State's giving up 27, and Miami of Ohio is giving up 23. I like the over 45. I think we get there. I think we get to 50.
But no official play? No official play?
I bet it.
All right. All right. I mean, are you giving it to the people as an official play? I don't.
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah, go ahead.
Official play over 45.
Official play over 45. I don't have a play on this game. If I were to lean, I would definitely take Miami, Ohio. They got the data behind them. Ball State, if Carson Steele is hurt, which that's basically been their workhorse for the last 2 games. If he is questionable for this game or not playing in this game, then they're definitely in trouble because they can't really pass the ball too well in the air. So if I were to make a lean, I'll take Miami. Matter of fact, I'm going to make a play. Miami, Ohio, on the money line as an official play. I wasn't going to make a play, but I like that with still being out and seeing how Ball State's been operating on the offensive side of the ball. If they can't run the ball well, they're in trouble. So my official play would be Miami, Ohio on the money line. Hey, we appreciate everybody tuning in. I'm the coach. That is Marley Bets. We are Brothas N Bets.
Hey,
And
what game was that we took last week on the money line? And like when that whole hit, you was like, "That's why we take the money line." Because I had said it on the show.
That was the first game. Like,
TCU. Yup.
TCU.
It was like 2.5 or some shit like that. Like, I think I'm just money line that boy.
Miami Ohio on the money line, man. Hey, let's get it, man. Now we are gonna stay into the Maction. We got 2 Maction games going down this week. And we got Bowling Green taking on Ohio. Ohio's been the hottest team in the conference. They're sitting at 8-3 on the year, 8-3 against the spread. While Bowling Green's 6-5 on the year, 4-6-1 against the spread. This is a nightcap game. 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So, all up north right now, they've been dealing with some weather issues. So we should see how this game plays out.
Mm-hmm.
The total did open up at 11. Right now, that line's sitting at -7, and the spread. The total opened up at 57.5. Right now, that line's at 55. Actual factuals for Bowling Green: they oversee 12 out of the last 18 games. They are 4-1 straight up in 5 games, but only 1-4 against the spread in the last 5 games against Ohio, and 1-5 straight up in the last 6 games against Ohio as well. Ohio, actual factual, 7-0 against the spread in the last 7 games, 6-0 straight up in the last 6 games, 5-0 straight up in the last 5 games when playing at the crib. The unders hit 4 out of the last 5 whenever they're playing against Bowling Green, and they are 7-2 straight up in the last 9 games played in the month of November. Injury reports right now. Bowling Green, 2 cats, wide receiver running back who's been out for the majority of the season. But update for Ohio, Rourke, the longtime quarterback, he left last game, so he's questionable tonight with a knee injury. Last time we seen Bowling Green, they won 42-35 against Toledo, and Ohio beat up on Ball State 32-18. So with that being said, our last Maction game of the night. Marley, do you have a play on this one?
Yeah, I've been on Ohio for the last couple of weeks, and shit, they've been holding it down. But Rourke being hurt to me is kind of big. Like you said, when you think of Ohio football the last couple of years, he should be the guy to come to mind. It seemed like he's been there for like 10 years. I like, and it's gonna piss me off because Bowling Green's won 4 out of their last 5 games, and I was on the one game that they fucking lost. Kent State. Kent State came in, blew their ass out 3-6. Sporting had won 3 straight coming in the game, and then just dropped the egg. Then go on the road as a foul and smack Toledo up. So I don't know about this team. I'm fucking confused. But with Rourke being out, I do like the 7 points that you're gonna give me at crib. Even though Ohio's been balling, I mean, they're on a 5-game win streak. They're 6-1 in the conference, and pretty much been taking care of everybody. I just think with Roy, and then being a knee injury, I know he's a quarterback. It's like he's not a scrambler. He's still based off his arm. But if he comes out the game, I don't even know who the backup is in the MAC, and that may be my fault for not looking into it, knowing he's hurt. But I still like the 7 here. I also like the over in this game too. Both of these defenses give up 30 points a game. Bowling Green almost giving up 33 points a game. Both these offenses are in Ohio cases. They scored 33 points a game. Bowling Green scores 24. They put up 42 in their last outing against Toledo. I like the over here. If you look at Ohio's last 3 games, they both clear into the 60s or high 50s. So I think we can get to 55. It is, I believe. Yeah, I think we can get there. So I like weather permits because we are up there in the East Coast. So always got to keep an eye on the weather. I'm getting 42 degrees right now. I don't see any snow or hard wind. Somebody might can correct me if they hear this video in the comments or in the chat. But give me the 7, Coach. I'll take a touchdown with an injured quarterback.
All right, Marley likes the 7. Marley likes the 7. I'm going to go with Ohio. I mean, like I said, I've been riding with Ohio for the last couple of games.
That scares me too, though, when the team is too hot.
But Bowling Green, I mean, I don't know. Can they keep up? I'm gonna ride with Ohio on the first half, man.
Well, if Rourke was healthy, then yeah, I would be right there with you. But then the line would probably be like 9. You know what I'm saying?
I have faith. Well, it was sitting at 11, but I have faith that he is going to be healthy, and we are going to make money tonight. So my official plays the half. Trying to get that line pulled up for everybody right now, so you know it's official. And Marley likes Ohio on the straight up first on full game, so they got a -4 for the first half. I'm gonna go ahead and take that as an official play. That -4. Take that. Hey, we appreciate everybody tuning in. I'm the coach. This is Marley Bets. We are Brothas N Bets, and we're gonna start off with the first game of besides Maction, Maction's in their own little world, but we're going to start off with the first game going into this Thanksgiving holiday, and this is the only real college football game played on the holiday. We're talking about the Egg Bowl between Mississippi State and Ole Miss, 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time game on Thursday the 24th, right after Turkey Day, right after everybody. If you're tired of watching NFL, you can turn over to ESPN or probably be on CBS. One of those channels and catch this game out. CBS most likely. But Mississippi State, the Bulldogs are 7-4 on the year, 5-1 against the spread, while the Ole Miss Rebels are 8-3 on the year, 4-6-1 against the spread. Can you imagine if Matt Carroll would have stayed another year with this team instead of entering the draft early? They could have been real contenders right now. This line opened up in favor of Ole Miss -4.5. Right now, that line's sitting at -2. They're on 2.5 out there on the board as well. The total opened up at 63, and right now that line's sitting at 59. There are some 58.5s out there as well. So if you're looking for a better number, whichever direction you want to go, be sure to keep your options open. There are several books that could be in your favor. Mississippi State's actual factuals: 4-1 against the spread last 5 games. They are 4-2 against the spread last 6 games against Mississippi. The unders hit 4 out of the last 5 games whenever they play on the road. Ole Miss actual factuals: 15-5 straight up in the last 20 games, 14-1 straight up in the last 15 games at the crib. The unders hit 5 out of the last 5 games whenever they go against Mississippi State, and 6-2 straight up in the last 8 games in the month of November. There aren't any injury reports listed right now for Mississippi State. And as you know, Mississippi lost Michael Trigg, tight end. He's out for the season. Last time we seen Mississippi State, they won 56-7 against Eastern Tennessee, and Ole Miss lost 42-27 against Arkansas this past weekend. We did pick them in the play. But with that being said, Egg Bowl, Turkey Night. Marley, do you have a play for this game?
Yeah, I'm jumping on Kiffin. I'm jumping on Ole Miss. Ole Miss here. Give me Ole Miss at the crib. Like you said, no other college games on that day. It's gonna be all eyes on Ole Miss. It's gonna be a rowdy crowd. They're gonna be drunk, full of that Thanksgiving food. This is an evening game, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
6 o'clock.
7 o'clock Eastern.
Them kids gonna be already. Hey, them kids gonna be already 8. They finna get full and go to the game. That's always gonna be rowdy. Actually, I really like Ole Miss first half. Probably be a better play, but put me on the we go money line this shit because it's under that too. I'm not fucking with it, and hope people that don't listen to us go back and check that TCU game, and that money line will save your ass. So I like Ole Miss on the money line. You was just talking about Matt Corral. I actually like Jackson Dart. I mean, no, he's no Corral. I agree with you there, but if I'm not mistaken, he's just a sophomore, so he got time to grow. He hasn't played bad. I mean, he got a QBR 74.4, 16 touchdowns. 8 interceptions. That's the problem. Tend to turn the ball over. But he's just a sophomore. He's thrown for over 2,000 yards. So I don't think he's playing too bad. It's in a tough conference, man. Going up against, I tell y'all this week in and week out since before the season, SEC is big boy, real live football. Best conference in college football, hands down. It's not even close. So don't come out here, big boss, trying to name any other conferences, even though the Pac-12 did really good this year. I'm going to applaud y'all because I just like seeing good football. But anyway, Ole Miss, man. I like Ole Miss. I like Jackson Dart here on the money. I personally think, I don't know what happened with Mississippi. Still like they just kind of fell off, even though they're both have lost 3 out of their last 5 games. But I just feel like, Mississippi State started out kind of hot, and then it just felt like they fizzled when they got in conference play, and then it got a little tougher for them. Whereas Ole Miss, their losses are to Alabama, LSU, and yeah, they lost to Arkansas last week. But Arkansas, Jefferson had been hurt. He coming back off injury. It's a lot of different issues with that team versus I feel like Mississippi State just wasn't showing up to the table.
All right, well, I'm right there with you. I agree. I'm riding with Ole Miss on the money line. Now, this, can the mad scientists come out with something in this game? Yes, because it is a rivalry game. But looking at the statistics in the past and the way Ole Miss plays at the crib, and I think they're just lately the more battle-tested team. Mississippi State took their thumps early in the year. Ole Miss is just getting through theirs right now. And now they're right here in the Egg Bowl. A chance to play in a nice little bowl game. First half, second half? Or first half?
First half, second half.
Full game?
First half, full game. I feel like this should be a double up spot.
I mean, they're at the crib. They are at the crib. But, can their legs be worn down so that quickly from playing a rough couple of weeks? I don't know. I know I'm going to take this money line, though, as an official play. So appreciate everybody tuning in. I'm the coach. This is Marley Bets. Now we're going to get into some of the games that kind of matter right now. And number 2 versus number 3. Michigan taking on Ohio State. Somebody got to lose. Somebody going to drop out the playoffs. And if everything works out crazily in the next couple of weeks, there's a chance that both teams could be right back in the playoffs, but we shall see. Let's keep this thing going. I wonder if Ohio jumps. The winner of this jumps to the number 1 spot. That'll be interesting. Michigan, 11-0 in the year, 6-4-1 against the spread, while the Ohio State Buckeyes are 11-0 on the year. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me? My bad.
Yes.
Buckeyes 11-0 on the year, 5-5-1 against the spread. This is a 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time game going down this Saturday. This line opened up in favor of Ohio State -7.5. There hasn't been any movement on it. The total opened up at 57.5, and right now you can catch it at 56.5 in some of the books, majority of the books. Actual factuals for Michigan: 13-6-1 against the spread in the last 20 games. The unders hit 9 out of the last 12 games. They are 10-0 straight up in the last 10 games. 7-13 against the spread in the last 20 games against Ohio State. 1-8 straight up in the last 9 games against Ohio State, but 5-0 in the straight up in the last 5 games on the road.
Okay. I think Coach froze up on I don't think. So Coach froze up on us. Actual factuals. I'm not sure where he left off at, so I'm gonna just start over. Michigan, 13-6-1 ATS in their last 20 games, 10-0 straight up in the last 10 games, but 7-13 ATS in their last 20 games against Ohio State. 1-8 straight up in the last 9 games against Ohio State. 5-0 straight up in the last 5 games on the road. 0-9 straight up in their last 9 games when playing on the road against Ohio State. 6-2-1 ATS in their last 9 games against an opponent from the East Division. The total has gone under in 9 of Michigan's last 12 games and under in 6 of Michigan's last 8 games against an opponent from the Big Ten Conference. Ohio State, 10-0 straight up in the last 10, 13-0 straight up in the last 13, 9-0 straight up in the last 9 games when playing at home against Michigan. Their totals over in 8 of the last 9 games, over in 8 of the last 8 games against Michigan, over in 9 of the last 11 games against an opponent in the Big Ten Conference, and over in 6 of the last games against an opponent from the East Division. So those are your actual factuals for the big game. Coach, I think I got you back now. So I just read the actual factuals for both teams, and that's where we're at right now.
East Coast Sharks, check your DMs. All right, my bad, man. My bad. Did you give your play? I heard you read the actual factuals.
I just read the actual factuals.
Gotcha.
I have not given out a play. I just finished reading them just now.
All right. Well, what's your play? Do you have a play on this one?
I like the over 56.5. That's
over
my official play. And the question is going to come down to, for me, why you laughing?
Go ahead, man.
Why you laughing?
Because it's just funny. Like you sound like you don't really want to fuck with this game on the side. It's tough. But
no, the side is tough because it's going to boil down to like, Michigan can't get into a shootout with Ohio State. I think they lose if they do that, if they try to score for score. So, but Crum is hurt, the running back, if I'm not mistaken. Like, he banged up. So, like, if he banged up, then and they can't run the ball, like they need him in order to beat Ohio State, in my opinion. And if he's unhealthy, because I think they got the offense that, I mean, it's not like Ohio State defense is like shutting everybody down. So they can produce offensively, but if Crum is out of there, then like, man, I don't really just know that 7, but I feel like Ohio State, because the conference ain't really shit, that they ain't really being tested. We ain't seen them up against no test, and the same can be said about Michigan. You know, who they both have played, Penn State. They both smacked up Penn State pretty good, so they both dropped a 40 piece. So I'm gonna take the over. If I look at Ohio State's last 5 games, even though it's mostly been lopsided, but everything goes over. Maryland over, Indiana over, Northwestern was the only one that was under. Penn State 44-31, Iowa 54-10. So if anything, I probably should be looking at an Ohio State team total over, which I don't have the line on that, but I will. That might be something I tweet out. But as of right now, yeah, put me on the over 56. I mean, I don't think this Michigan State is going to hold them under 30. They've only went under 30 once in the last 5 games. I'll pull up the whole schedule to see how many times in the whole season. But so unless you're telling me this Michigan defense is going to go shut out CJ Stroud and probably the best receiving core in football as a core, then yeah, Notre Dame held 20 under 30 the first game of the season, and Northwestern held them under 30. Other than that, they putting up 4 up on everybody. So I don't think it didn't at the crib.
Well, it's definitely going to come down. It's definitely going to come down to Ohio State's defense because they've been giving up a lot lately, and most of the Ohio State game. Because this is my favorite team to bet on quarter by quarter in live betting. Some of these games have been a little struggle, some of these last games, but then they end up second half taking off. Which, okay, you froze for a sec. They end up taking off. So it's going to come down to the Ohio State defense if they really want to secure victory and cover this spread. I don't have an official play for this game. If I were to make an official play, it'll probably be the 7.5. But like I said, I'll be too scared because that Ohio State offense can be explosive, and with Crum sitting out, that's definitely going to be an issue for Michigan moving the ball and setting up the passing game. But Marley likes the over as an official play. I am off of that one. And we appreciate everybody tuning in. I'm the coach. That is Marley Bets, and we are Brothas N Bets, and we're going to jump over to the West Coast, a team that has a chance to jump into the playoffs. Say it again.
This Big Boss Boys right here.
The USC Trojans came from another shootout last week against rival UCLA will be hosting Notre Dame Fighting Irish. The Fighting Irish are 8-3 on the year, 6-5 against the spread, while the Trojans are 10-1 on the year, 7-4 against the spread. This line did open up in favor of USC -4. That line's gone up to 5.5. There are some fives out there on the board as well. In fact, there's a lot of fives out there. The totals open up at 62.5. Right now, that line's at 64.5 and 65. So more 65s than anything. Get to a couple of actual factuals real quick for Notre Dame. 13-6 against the spread in the last 19 games. They oversee 5 out of the last 5 games. They are 5-0 straight up in the last 5 games, 5-1 straight up in the last 6 games against Southern Cal. They are 5-1 straight up in the last 6 games against USC as well. 6-0 against the spread in the last 6 games when playing on the road. Actual factors for USC, they're 4-2 against the spread in the last 6 games, 10-1 straight up in the last 11 games. They oversee 5 out of the last 5 games, 6-0 straight up in the last 6 games at the crib, 7-2 against the spread in the last 9 games when playing at the crib against Notre Dame, but 0-6 straight up in the last 6 games against an independent conference opponent. Injury reports right now for Notre Dame. The major ones: Joe Wilkins, wide receiver, he's questionable for this game. Defensive back Brandon Joseph, he's questionable for this game as well. Tobias Merriweather, wide receiver, he's questionable also for Notre Dame. And they got a couple of other injuries of guys who've been out for the majority of the season. Actual factuals for USC. Excuse me. We already know Travis Dye, running back, he's out for the season. Jalen Smith, safety, he's questionable for this game. And Domani Jackson, he's questionable as well at the defensive back position. Last time we seen Notre Dame, they won 44-0 against Boston College, and then when we, like I said, in the shootout, 48-45 victory for USC is the last time we saw them whenever they won that game. So with that being said, USC with a chance to get into the playoffs, taking on Notre Dame, a chance to upset and spoil the playoff hopes for USC. Marley, what's your play?
Yeah, man, this is if USC, I think if they win this game and win the Pac-12, I think they get in. What do you think?
I think
One
so
loss,
too. They win because look, somebody's losing this weekend with the number 2 and the number 3 team. TCU, even if TCU wins out, or if TCU loses, USC has a strong chance of getting into the game, into the playoffs. So you bump out the number 2 and number 3. TCU moves up to number 3. USC jumps right in. From the 4th spot, they jump right in. Now, it can get ugly if USC wins their conference championship. Michigan beats Ohio State close, and then Ohio State ends up jumping over USC to get into the playoffs with the undefeated team. It can get janky. It can get janky, but I think this team comes out. They play better in the first half, and then they tend to get a little crazy in the second half. But my official play, Notre Dame on the first half of this one. Go ahead, my boy. You're good. You're good monies.
Yeah. Man, this one's tough for me. I haven't got to the window with anything. I think I like Notre Dame plus the points, but I think USC wins the game. I don't know if Notre Dame can score enough. That's gonna be my question. Can that offense keep up with USC's offense? And can Notre Dame defense at least slow them down just a little bit? UCLA couldn't stop them at all. I watched that game. They was just running up and down the downfield. At will, everything was working. Like literally everything was working. Oh, no, okay, we'll put a freshman running back in. He gonna run the ball. He gonna tote the pill. So But when I go back and look at Notre Dame, even though this, like they don't play for what their schedule was, I guess every time the 2 times they get swept here of late anyway, we know things started out rocky earlier in the season with the loss to Ohio State. And I think they lost to like Marshall, back-to-back losses to Marshall. And then we got a loss to Stanford. But since the loss to Stanford, shit, they reeled off 6 straight with Syracuse, who was hot at the time, and then smacked up Clemson. So I say all that to say USC wins the game. I think USC covers too, man. Haven't gotten to the window for anything, but I think USC covers. This is their Super Bowl. This is their, well, not their Super Bowl, but they're trying to get to the Super Bowl. This game means a lot, and it's already a rivalry game, so it's not like they're gonna be overlooking. I think this is Lincoln Riley, like this. I'm not gonna say the chance to cement it, but like because he's already put USC back on the map. But what bigger way to put them on the map than against Notre Dame? Nationally televised game. Is finally not gonna be late night. Like everybody will get to see them because it's a what's the start time? It's like a 6 prime time, right?
It's a prime time game, big dog.
Right. That's what I thought. So prime time game. I don't think we've seen them in prime time this year, if I'm not mistaken. They're always
they've been prime time. Who you talking about? Notre Dame?
No. I know we've seen Notre Dame, USC. I don't think we've seen USC prime time yet. What was that Utah game? Was that Utah game at night? I think you might have froze on me. But I like USC, man. I want to say Notre Dame would cover, but I just don't think they got the athletes to keep up with that offense. And I watched that offense last week against UCLA, and they was just fucking stoppable. So, yeah, man, put me on USC minus the 5. I think they get it done. I think maybe it can start out close, but I think ultimately, I think Lincoln Riley and them are just gonna pull away. They just got the better talent at the end of the day. All right. I think I lost my man, Coach. Yup, as we make it down the list here. God damn it, Coach. You think you hate when that shit happen. I hate when that shit happen. Now I gotta go back, find shit, and get my shit together for the next shit. So yeah, there you go. You back. Shit.
I heard you. Well, we about to go rapid fire right here, man, for these last couple of games. And we're going to start off with the Civil War. I hate it too. So since my stuff is acting up and I'm going to call them back, we're going to go ahead and rapid fire this thing with a couple of games. If I can get down the menu bar.
Shit. Want me to do it?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You want me to do it?
No, you got it. Just enter and put in your record. I mean, I'm going to blow past these real quick. Civil War, Oregon taking on Oregon State. This game right now has a lot in contentions for a conference championship berth. Oregon Ducks 9-2 on the year, 8-3 against the spread, while the Oregon State Beavers, they're 8-3 on the year, 9-2 against the spread. This line opened up -4 in favor of the Ducks. That line's sitting at 3 right now, and the total opened up at 58. Hasn't been any real movement on that. Just get to some actual factors real quick. Oregon, they're 12-2 straight up in the last 14 games against Oregon State. But Oregon State's 11-0 straight against the spread in the last 11 games at the crib this year, and 5-0 against the spread in the last 5 games on the year. Injury reports right now for Oregon. Byron Cardwell, running back, he is questionable, and Jahil Florence, defensive back, he's questionable as well. While Oregon State's dealing with a lot of injuries, running back Fenwick, he's questionable for this game. Trey Lowe, wide receiver, he's questionable for this game. Chance Nolan, quarterback, is questionable for this game as well with the neck injury, as well as the backup quarterback, Jack Caliato. He is questionable with a hamstring injury. And Joe Golden, defensive lineman, he's questionable also. Last time we seen Oregon, they won 20-17 against Utah, and Oregon State won 31-7 against Arizona State. So, with that being said, Marley, do you have a play for the Civil War?
Yeah. I'm riding with my boy, Mr. Money Bo Nix, nigga. Yeah, Bo in the clutch. Bo Nix. The boy didn't move to the Pac-12 and became a star. Now, my man, Oregon State is just too banged up. No quarterbacks. They're playing with a freshman right now. He knows nothing about this rivalry, nothing about being in a big game. Nothing of this magnitude. Give me the Ducks coming off a big win. They're playing spoiler, but they're still trying to get into like a New Year's Six bowl. So they won't get into the college, but they still got something to play for.
You like them on the -3?
Yep.
All right. Well, I'm hopping in that whip and I'm riding with you. I like Oregon also on the -3, riding with Bo Nix against this banged up Oregon State team. Now, this Oregon State team does have a great defensive backfield, so we definitely should get a treat to see how Bo Nix can make something happen going up against those guys on the Beaver side. But Civil War, those are our plays. We like Oregon -3. Hey, we appreciate everybody tuning in. I'm the coach. This is Marley State. Marley Championships. Welcome to the championship club. Big rings. We got the Baylor Bears. We stand here in Texas. Baylor Bears almost knocked off the undefeated TCU, taking on the Texas Longhorns at this Friday noon game on the East Coast. Baylor Bears 6-5 against the 6-5 on the year, 7-4 against the spread, while the Longhorns are 7-4 against the spread and straight up for the year. The total opened up -9. That line sitting at 8.5 right now. In favor of Texas. The total opened up at 56.5. Right now, that line's at 56. Get to some actual factuals real quick for Baylor. 4-1 against the spread in the last 5 games, but they're 14-6 straight up in the last 20 games, but 10-4-1 against the spread in the last 15 games against Texas. While the Longhorns are 5-2 straight up in the last 7 games, the unders hit 9 out of the last 9 games when they're going up against Baylor. But they're 12-2 straight up in the last 14 games when they're playing at the crib against Baylor. Injury reports right now for Baylor. Gavin Holmes, he is questionable at the wide receiver position for Baylor, and Ty McWilliams, running back, he's questionable as well. As for the Longhorns, they don't have any serious injuries that are late. As of late, everybody else has been out for majority of the season. Baylor lost a heartbreaker 28-29 against TCU, while the Texas Longhorns won 55-14 against Kansas. So, with that being said, Marley, do you have a play for this one?
Yeah, I like Baylor plus the points. I think UT wins the game, but I'm not gonna disrespect Baylor like that. That's just too many points for me. I think it's overreaction to the Kansas win. I think UT wins, but I'll take the 8.5 in my back pocket for sure.
All right. I do not have a play for this one, so I am going to make a pass. But if I were to make a lean, I would probably take the Longhorns in the first half. Again, this is another team that plays excellent in the first half and sometimes let things slip in the second half, which has led to almost three L's on the year. Man, they looked real good against Alabama. Probably could have beat them if the quarterback stays healthy. But those Marley does like the Baylor Bears as an official play plus the 8.5. Let's get to our next game, and we're talking about my Florida State Seminoles taking on the Florida Gators. This game is going down on Friday, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time game, primetime game going down to Bobby Bowden Stadium. The Florida Gators 6-5 on the year, 6-5 against the spread, while my Florida State Seminoles are 8-3 straight up and against the spread. This line did open up in favor of the Seminoles -8. That line is sitting at 9.5, and it also the total opened up at 58.5. Right now, that line is sitting at 57.5. Get to some action factions real quick for the Gators. 6-12 against the spread in the last 18 games, and 2-4 against the spread in the last 6 games against Florida State. While the Seminoles are 4-1 straight up in the last 5 games. They are 4-1 in the last 5 games. The total has gone over 4 out of the last 5 home games as well. And the total has also gone under 10 out of the last 15 games for the Seminoles. Injury report right now, linebacker Ventrell Miller, he is out for the first half of targeting suspension. Xavier Henderson, wide receiver, he's questionable for this game. Cornerback Devin Moore is questionable as well. And tight end Boardingham is questionable for the Gators. As far as Florida State, wide receiver Winston Wright, he's questionable for this game. Darian Williamson is questionable for this game at the wide receiver position as well. Last time we saw Florida, they lost to Vanderbilt 31-24, while the Seminoles took care of business and covered for another first half, 49-17 against Siena. So, with that being said, Florida State Sunshine Bowl. Marley, do you have a play on this one?
I do not. I don't care about this game.
He doesn't care. He doesn't care about this game. Well, I am going to ride with Florida State on the first half spread. In the last 3 games, they have covered the first half. In the last 4 games, they've actually won straight up in the last first half. So I'm going to keep riding this Florida State first half wave against these. I wouldn't be surprised if they cover this by more, like by 20 or more, because this Florida's team is just having a very, very letdown year. And Florida State's been turning it up. Say it again.
You don't think rivalry game?
What'd you say?
Keep it close?
I mean, do they care right now? It's some shit going on at Florida, but I mean, we'll see. It ain't really, the in-state rivalry hasn't been to where it needed to be how it carried in the 90s and in the early 2000s. But I mean, we'll see. But my official play, Florida State on the first half. Hey, appreciate everybody tuning in. This is the coach. That's Marley Bets. He got his championship over the weekend. Shout out to the Stafford Cobras and shout out to the junior level Stafford Cobras as well. We will be back tomorrow to shoot our NFL show on Thanksgiving Eve. Now let's get to our last and final game. We got the Louisville Cardinals taking on the Kentucky Wildcats, which once was a great basketball rivalry. This game is going down Saturday, 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time field at Kroger Field. The Louisville Cardinals 7-4 on the year and straight up, while the Kentucky Wildcats are 6-5 straight up and 7-4 against the spread in the last. 7-4 against the spread this season. This line opened up -3.5 in favor of Kentucky right now. That line's sitting at 3, but there are some 2.5s popping up right now on the boards. 43.5 is where the total opened up right now. That line's at 43. And get to some actual factuals real quick. Louisville 5-1 against the spread in the last 6 games, 5-1 straight up in the last 6 games, but 1-4 against the spread in the last 5 games against Kentucky. And the Kentucky actual factions, Kentucky's 4-1 straight up in the last 5 games against Louisville, 5-0 against the spread. 5-0 straight up in the last 5 games against an ACC conference opponent, but only 2-5 straight up in the last 7 games this season. Injury reports right now for Louisville. Malik Cunningham, he is dealing with a shoulder injury, so he's questionable, but he's going to play. Now, his last game of the season, he's going to play. Jalen Mitchell, running back, he's questionable for this game. And Tavion Cooley, running back for Louisville, is questionable for this game as well. No serious injuries for you, Kentucky. The guys have been out for most of the year. And last time we seen Louisville, they won 25-10 against NC State. And Kentucky, last time we seen them, they lost 16-6 against Georgia. So, with that being said, Louisville and Kentucky, Marley, do you have a play for this one?
I like Louisville.
Yeah. What's the 3 or the money line?
I like them on the money line. I think they win this game. All right. I don't think Kentucky cares. I don't think Kentucky cares. This is about, I think they had higher aspirations to come into the season, especially the way they started the season, especially after they beat Florida. You know what I'm saying? I think, and then at some point in the season, it just started to go downhill. Now the Georgia game, they played good, right? I think they got up for that Georgia game 16-6, but they were just coming off a loss to Vanderbilt. Like, I don't think they care about this shit. Louisville, they care. Louisville cares. They ain't got shit going on. They ain't have aspirations to make it to no big ball game. They probably thought they would be right about here, 7-4, 8-3. They just want to go to a regular bowl game. Like they that was their let's get to a bowl game this season and go out on top. Like that was their aspirations. So they right where they want to be. Kentucky rivalry game. They hype up. He coming back. You don't give a shit. Basketball season started. Like the fans don't care. Nobody cares in Kentucky right now about football. Nobody cares about football right now in Kentucky. It's all about the basketball team. In Louisville right now, Malik Cunningham now, they trying to get it going. So, and then not only that, they last 5 games, shit, they won 4 out of the last 5. They only lost to Clemson. That's a win over Wake at Wake. That's a win over North Carolina State, even though they ain't got their quarterback, so I get it. But and the defense has been playing well, holding people to 19.6 a game. 10 held Wake Forest to 21. We all know what that offense can do. Pitt to 10. James Madison, who's playing great, to 10. And North Carolina State to 10. Like I said, the only loss was Clemson. So I like Louisville, man. Just don't nobody give a shit.
You made some good points. You made some good points, and that's why I'm gonna ride with you. But I'm gonna add them points on them. I'm gonna take Louisville plus the 3 in this rivalry game. I do like the way Malik Cunningham and them guys are playing. Hopefully, we can get some crazy third quarter action like they did against Wake when they just really blew Wake out and took them off the face of earth. Nobody talks about Wake anymore, but. Those are our plays. We appreciate everybody tuning in. Just to do a real quick recap of our plays for tonight's action. Marley likes Ball State and Miami, Ohio over 45. He likes Ohio -7 on Turkey Day. He likes Ole Miss on the money line. In the big rivalry game, he likes Michigan. He likes Michigan and Ohio State over 56.5. USC -5.5. Oregon -3. Baylor plus 8.5, and Louisville money line. As for myself, I like Miami, Ohio tonight as the money line. I like Ohio -4 for the first half. I like Ole Miss on Turkey Day money line. Oregon -3. Florida State first half spread, and Louisville +3. And we appreciate everybody tuning in. I'm the coach. That's Marley Bets. We will be back tomorrow for some NFL action. We got 3 NFL games going down on Turkey Day. But with that being said, Marley, if you can lead us on the prayer, we can get out of here.
As always, may the odds ever be in y'all favor. Y'all know what it is. I am Marley Bets, and damn it, that right there, that's the coach. And
Do it with the rain.
I know, huh? That right there. Yeah. This is Brothas N Bets. And like yesterday, like today, damn it, and for sure, like tomorrow, y'all already know what it is, man. Let's beat Vegas. We out this
Check it out. Look, we from the bottom, ain't no problems, we gon' make a way. Got no coach on the field, but we making plays. Hey, look, don't worry, we gon' be okay. Hey, look, why? Cause we gon' make them pay.
All right, bro.
All right, that's a good bit. Yo.
This fake nurse over here say she ran track in high school.